birthday present if they win that one. Rough timing right there. But DRX picked him up as a trainee when he was 16 years old back at the end of 2018 and said, look, we're going to hold on to you because you are such a talent, you are such a prodigy. We are going to convert you the second you're able to. Came into the 2020 season, and DRX has been really good since then. Deft, I think, is one of the all-time greats down to the bottom lane. His lane mate, that is a player I will always give love and respect to, the biggest veteran on that roster. That dual lane, I think, combines to a lot. And Keria has 21 unique champions played this split, the most of any player at Worlds. I am in love with this support player. And speaking of champion pools, that is a Swain bot lane ban.
Yeah, exactly. Gadget has been extremely flexible, definitely targeting him here because he has played the mages on bottom side, the Orianna as well. I do think that despite playing a lot of these mages and flexing around there for Unicorns of Love, the Twitch was his real standout champion, hard carrying with that combination. As we saw, Twitch Recon can be very explosive engages for teams as well, but it's so difficult to draft against Unicorns of Love because of the variations that they still throw out here. Meanwhile, we do have some more of the standard bans there, the Lucian solo lane ban taken away as well, and the Sylas popping up on top.
Yeah, exciting stuff to see right here. Definitely important to ban away the Lucian from Chovy. It garnered another 77% ban rate against him in the postseason. Very strong champion there. Orianna, by the way, is the primary ban that LCL teams put up against Unicorns of Love because that is actually a flex pick between those two players. There was an interview that Gadget gave about the Swain saying, hey, this team has really bad backline access or like really bad burst, so I can just simply play Swain and kind of drain tank the entire team. It's why I play this champion. Orianna is the one that LCL teams know to fear because it goes between those two players. We'll see now what comes through into this draft is, of course, there's a lot of champions you can play out there and only a few that can be banned away and picked in any single game. Renekton, got to be very connected between these two champions. It's the most played by far for Boss of the top lane and right up there for Doran as well.
And Doran definitely has been another one that people have been looking at as a possible way to play against DRX. So Boss taking this up very early on means he will have a pretty strong lane matchup for himself, despite it being blind. Not a lot of great answers into Renekton here. So DRX focusing on their bottom side. They grab up the Ashe here for Deft immediately. And even though there have been so many champions played by Keria, I have really liked him most on the long-range supports. The Lux, the Morgana, the Enchanters for himself. So trying to pair one of those with Ashe to have a really strong lane phase for themselves could be a pretty good angle to go for.
Well, I'm not going to see it just yet, but I agree it's fun to see range supports in the mix as well. I'm partial to them, but we get Nidalee coming through as the prime jungle pick. Hecarim, the only other one kind of sitting out there as a top 4 jungler, I would say, in Worlds right now, but Nidalee going to be grabbed up. Of course, Graves still available for AHaHaCiK. Otherwise, he's going to play something like Trundle or down the tier list into like Kha'Zix and Lee Sin. So Pyosik taken away, probably the strongest / most comfortable jungler AHaHaCiK could play here.
And Pyosik, definitely his pathing has been a little bit suspect at times, ever since they transitioned from him being on initiation jungles over to the current meta of the carry junglers. But going against Evelynn, you do want to have a heavy invade, looking for, trying to punish her early on, as AHaHaCiK on this champion has definitely had some success for himself as well. Let's see what they want to go with here on bottom side, answering the Ashe. Jhin picked up for Gadget, does give you that long range snare, which can be devastating when you have an Evelynn jungle for yourself. You can set her up to land the full charm charge for herself.
Ornn the Hover right now, an incredibly successful champion during the play-in stage, was banned against solo at the end of the very first draft and now picked up here for Doran. Not his most played, he is really partial to fighters, but if you're going for taking a win right here, I like putting your maybe weakest member on tank duty, letting him survive a Renekton matchup. Yeah, you can't easily itemize because there's an AP jungler in Evelynn who can show up and try to farm you, but he is going to be there for the team fights, and honestly, I'm trusting that Deft's Ashe can have plenty of team fight damage output.
Yeah, I definitely think that DRX should be expecting some topside focus here already, considering the drafts and considering Boss here wanting to try and abuse that Doran pick of the Ornn. But obviously, Ornn is picked for the team value that he brings, upgrading items, big gold power spikes towards the level 14, and the team fight initiation.
Relia dropping off the table, just trying to get rid of the big playmakers off of Chovy right there, because of course, I mean, unless you really think Ornn Sports is gonna happen, and to be fair, in the 21 games 21 champions he's played, none of them have been Ornn support, so that seems unlikely to go to Keria. You're like, all right, we are banning these away from the mid laner here. Now we need a support to be locked up. It looks like they're gonna give Chovy counterpick down there, and Pantheon to play aggressively in the bot lane might be the possibility.
Yeah, Unicorn's trying to ban away some of the AD solo laners because of the Nidalee jungle there and Ornn topside. That's what DRX are going to try and go to kind of even out their profile here. Support Pantheon, definitely super powerful. Huge amounts of crowd control here set up for DRX, for possible picks, for setting up this Nidalee to try and have some lane influence as well.
Now, Azir and Twisted Fate were Chovy's most played champions in the summer split and onwards of the LCK. Those have both been nerfed since playoffs. They are objectively weaker champions. I think totally still viable, totally worth picking, and if he's comfortable, they can still be the carries for him. But those are what he played, and these are the things that UOL have chosen to leave up. I think a lot of it being the read that you mentioned, the AP jungle top, but also just because they said, hey, they're not as strong. We think the pool is different this time around. Orianna gets to come through. They get to see the bot lane matchup as this Pantheon Ashe, and they say, I personally don't like Blitzcrank in this one, but Alistar can look really good.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a lot better. Huge possibilities for team fights if you do lock in the Alistar. Obviously, very well known for combos with Orianna with the shockwave delivery. You can WQ or QW in. And the Evelynn also is pretty good at passing off the ball for some little sneaky plays for himself as well. I do think, again, though, there still is going to be a decent amount of focus towards this top side of the map for Unicorns heading into it. And bottom side, they're going to look to have some roaming possibilities from the Pantheon. Now, possibly, yeah, still can flex the Pantheon in the Sett if they really want to, but I would expect it to be Pantheon support Sett jungle. They can definitely flop those back and forth, though. Pantheon jungle is very viable.
Well, Chovy right now looking at the hover on Sett mid. He's played it 5 times already. Nidalee's probably not moving around, to be fair. I've made those mistakes dozens of times, no worries. But yeah, Sett mid coming through, so it's a really big front line. It is a lot of tanks and a lot of engage, relying on Deft as the primary damage output of the team. Nidalee's pretty much always going to build Athene's second item. She turns into a support in the mid to late game in most situations. Do I think Deft can do it? Absolutely. This man is phenomenal. He's got 7 years of competitive League of Legends experience at the LCK and higher, so yes, I think it's going to happen for him, but it's a comp that is really built around Deft being the only primary carry in team fights. Meanwhile, there are a lot of threats, and these threats can get on the Ashe, which can be scary on the UOL side.
And I'm really excited, actually, now that it does settle. I remember they have the Nidalee already for jungle. The solo lane coming in there for the Pantheon. Going to be the support setup that they can have for double stuns, setting up with the Ashe arrows as well.
Right, that's going to be a big one. So we'll look to see what the bot lane focus can look like, because I don't think you want to gank for Ornn or Sett that much overall. But yeah, going into the Ashe Pantheon lane with Nidalee, that seems very volatile and very easy to get kills on. So DRX, we'll see what they can do. A lot of the buzz around them has been somewhat negative. They kind of narrowly got into the LCK finals and got that second seed. If people are expecting any LCK fall-off, DRX are one of those teams that are named on the list of teams that may falter down here, but I still think they're a very, very good team. I'm a big fan of the bot lane. I'm a big fan of Chovy as well. And Unicorns of Love, finally, as these players, the second time an LCL team has made their way to the group stage. And the last time that happened, they made quarterfinals, taking down a bunch of upsets on the way. So I do want to see if Unicorns of Love can live up to the reputation of Albus Nox Luna and turn a bunch of heads and take down teams that people don't think they'd be able to, as we are out of the rift for Game 2 of the World's group stage. And we round out our games for today in this group.
Yeah, Unicorns, they've talked so much about, making it into the group stage of Worlds, but they don't just want to be here. The reason they were so frustrated about not making it into the group stage last time around because of the damage that they can do once they are here. So now on the World stage here in the main event, I want to see them make it happen. I've been definitely excited about the play-in stage performances, especially from Gadget down there on the bottom side of the map, so we'll see if they can lock anyone up.
A little bit of early poke coming across, but the recall is going to come through in time. We don't have any aggressive warding coming across, and no really big stabs. There's a single ward from DRX in the bottom river, a very similar one from Unicorns of Love in the top river. And that'll spot if there's any vertical jungling going on or late invades. And at about 25 seconds on the clock right there, you'll see if there are any, and looks like no one's doing much of anything. A couple of pings towards the bot lane tri-brush, DRX knowing if they should be afraid or not. But it looks like we're going to have pretty much a leashless topside start for Pyosik, so neither top lane nor bot lane going to give away where the jungler started. Deft wanted to poke into this one and just crosses paths with Gadget. That trinket ward, though, is good because it means if Evelynn goes for a really heavy clear, like red into Krugs, they'll know about it, but she's not taking that path.
Yeah, and kind of we were talking about in Champ Select of heading towards this Pantheon, towards the Pantheon support here because of the guaranteed stun. Whenever you have Nidalee jungle, you're looking for those point-and-click stuns to set up your spears to have truly effective ganks. Pyosik is going to do one of his full clears here, goes red up into Krugs, and will transition down towards that bottom side. But look at AHaHaCiK, already going down, just blue buff to buff here down to red to make sure he can secure these on Evelynn, expecting some of those possible invades coming from the Nidalee because you have so much CC possibilities from both the mid and bottom lanes.
I don't believe the trinket ward that was put down spotted him as he crossed past the Raptor camp, but this ward here, look at the timing. Gadget spotting out, hey, trinket went down, I'm going to clear this, no worries. Sweeper start on the Jhin, and this means theoretically they don't know for sure where AHaHaCiK is. However, the hawk shot comes through, reveals that red buff is gone, blue buff is gone, and he's not on chickens or the Gromp, so he must be on Krugs right now. So they can deduce it regardless, and they know Evelynn's bot side.
And this is such a strong performance already coming out from Deft and Keria, who, yes, in the beginning of summer, they were extremely strong for DRX, but they did start to fall off towards the end. You know, Deft had the back injury that they were talking about a lot. So it's really nice to see that being a point of power for this team. Huge CS lead as they bully the Unicorns bottom lane under the tower, trying to force them to miss CS, continually fighting over this extra vision. And now Pyosik keeping the Evelynn out.
What a read. Saw him come down, jumps in for the damage. Big chunk down. AHaHaCiK already at 200 HP. And Javelin puts him at 100, and this jungle is taken over. Now, thankfully, there are no camps to steal away, but Pyosik can show up behind this turret. And as the CS is 8-23, bot lane is having a really hard time right now for UOL.
Yeah, this is definitely a kingdom here for DragonX. They want to leave Doran up on the top side without any sort of interaction and force all of these fights down onto the bottom half of the map. Continued renewal of the wards through the red quadrant of Unicorn's jungle as well will allow these invades from Pyosik to continue to find purchase. Landing that spear was huge, chunking down at AHaHaCiK and forcing him up into the top half of the map where he's able to find the respawn on those Krugs, so they have a little bit of extra experience in it.
Piecing him out. It's going to be a roughly level 3 spawn of those, so good XP and gold picked up right there, but already a 400 to 500 gold difference for DRX. No big recalls coming across just yet. Just Ornn reforging his items, Boss taking an early recall. Just to get an extra Doran's Blade and fight for that one, but you can see every single lane all down the line. You've got leads for DRX in the early game. Unicorn so far not standing up.
And look at this, AHaHaCiK just is so lost right now, after the invades. Not a lot of opportunities for him. The last one remaining would be Chovy mid lane, but this is a Ghost Flash set. He's taken double mobility summoner spells for himself to greatly increase the possibilities of navigating through these team fights. I do think the extra attention to mobility for Sett pays off really, really huge and allows him, not to have to go for the phase rush. Here's Ghost popped.
Ghost burn, flashes in, gets into it. That's going to be a lot of damage. Is it going to be enough for the kill? Not just yet. The flash in Pyosik. He gets himself first blood. The counter gank is in. Then AHaHaCiK forced to run away. Not going to chase for any more than that, but first blood to DRX.
Double mobility summoners in action. Freaky uses the Ghost to go for the initiation onto Nomanz. Then, because he still has the flash, he has the confidence to go for the chunk with his W, setting up Pyosik to finish it. Flash burn there from Nidalee to find that kill as well. And DragonX are crushing the early game.
Lane Kingdom for DRX so far. It's just across the board going a whole lot better. First recalls come through. That is a full Fiendish Codex for Pyosik. You would love to see that recall on Nidalee. He is rich with the red smite there as well. AHaHaCiK actually still clearing his shrug before his first back, but this is rough stuff. Double CS in the bot lane. He's running fast. Chovy's gonna find that one again. A little bit of a trade right there as Nomanz tries to kite back from him. And now we can see a bot lane scuffle, the replay of that in the bottom corner that burned the flash out of Santos.
Yep, Ignite there from Keria as well used in the attempt to try and focus them down. This bottom lane CS discrepancy going quite well for themselves, and this should be continued invades. You see Chovy pushing the lane, coming to help with the renewal of that vision of those wards here through the red quadrant, allowing a dragon start there from Pyosik, even on the recall from their bottom lane. They have full control, and they can start that dragon stacking pretty early on.
And the fact that bot lane is freezing right now is going to be another 6 CS different. It's 16 different right now. It's going to be 22 in about a minute's time right there. DRX got the first shove. As UOL shoved it back, Keria delayed his recall just to tame the wave, hold it back, let it stack up, and with the entire extra wave there, is going to deny that 115 gold that they would like to get as Deft picks this one up. Keria, he's going to be in lane in time. It's not going to be a big problem for him. He's actually not even going to the bot lane. He didn't even pick up boots. It's double longsword. He's making sure the top jungle's looking good as Deft is entirely safe under his turret, and Gadget and Sanders are like, Pantheon could still be in the brush technically, and we don't know if the jungler's here, so we're just gonna be afraid.
And meanwhile, on the top side, Freak, with all this action on bottom side, Renekton not able to punish the Ornn at all here. Doran doing just fine for himself, actually doing better than that as he builds up the early CS for himself, rushing towards that Sunfire cape. Bottom side minion wave held in a very good spot. Slow already landed, no flash.
As soon as they walk into the lane, that's gonna be a stun's gonna be so much damage, no way out. Pyosik's already 2-0. A shockwave hits Chovy for a bit of his health, but it's not gonna matter. He's still got the shield ready. And just walks away, no problem. 300 HP, more than enough to survive the rest of this. AHaHaCiK gets a camp as the gank from Pyosik gets a kill.
And he really needs that level 6 here. AHaHaCiK should be able to get off the red buff and then try and find something. Evelynn really needs that extra burst damage from your ultimate to find one of those kills onto a solo lane, especially considering how tanky the solo lanes are. But bottom lane dominance just continues for DRX. Pyosik steals away another red for themselves, and he's roaming around here with Keria. That deadly combination, point and click stun into spear.
Nice little sidestep there by Deft, gets away from the possible route. And so far, Nidalee has been the primary carry. You've got a 2,400 gold lead at 8.5 minutes. So far, we've got back-to-back stomps here at the World Championship group stage right now.
You can look for it again.
Yeah, they're going for round 2. Ashe era is not up, but the Pantheon combo is going to be no problem. He's going to go for the W, gets that onto Alistar, headbutts away, but he's not going to live. Looks for an auto-attack stun, and kill number 3 goes to Pyosik. We knew bot lane was gonna be the focus with the CC lane, and it has been.
Beef is still on the menu, Freak. No level 6 for Alistar, no flash for Alistar. You gank that as many times as you please. And DRX continue to get their bottom side focus. Meanwhile, Unicorns, again, with the possibility of topside, focus for them, they have not been able to find anything, even with the jungle split here with AHaHaCiK trying to, scrounge together some of the jungle leftovers for himself. They haven't been able to get anything out of that top side of the map, and the bottom side is just bleeding over and over for them.
I mean, you mentioned it. You just said it, but to reiterate, there isn't a positive really elsewhere on the map for Unicorns of Love right now. It's Bosch just like, well, okay, our bot lane's losing, and I'm equal farm against Ornn. One of us is better late game as a champion, and it's not the Renekton. This is problematic. The mid laner is farming pretty well. Good job, the Nomanz, but there's still a kill on the board from ganking his lane. The jungle down 4 camps here as well. It's a rough one. Unicorns of Love got to find themselves in a mid-game team fight where they pick up shutdowns.
All right, minute and 45 seconds here left on the next dragon. They're looking for a mid lane play here first. Nomanz does have flash, but Pantheon's so good at going for tower dives. You flash over, go for the point click stun, then you also have the directional immunity to immune those tower shots. And it would be a kill through the flash anyways, so very big that we have the bottom lane roam matched here as Unicorns are able to find that play in waiting and chase off the members that are looking for the kill.
Pyosik still able to fight for this jungle right now as a ward comes down. Doesn't even have to care about it too much. He takes away the chickens yet again, and we keep this big camp deficit down here. 3,100 becomes the gold lead as AHaHaCiK can't even fight for a small Krug right now. He's afraid of Pantheon signaling more people showing up. Thankfully, he's invisible. He's not hatching that ward just yet. He's running around invisibly, but, well, bot lane's already lost 3 turrets, plates, I should say, and that's without Herald even showing up yet.
All right, we do have the Evelynn wrapping around. This is level 6. Does have a control ward here. Watching their back, though, for DRX. So it's going to have to be called off there as they did get that little glimpse. All right, now, Flash is ready for Santos. Does have the possibility of making one of those plays, but man, they have to be worried about so much here. Looking for anything to get turned around on them.
Now, I am liking the lane swaps coming out of UOL. As Sun... Hold on, we got a fight going on. Santos getting a bit low. As the Sunfire Cape got finished for Doran's Ornn and the Merc Treads plus Spectre's Cowl came through for Chovy, with the physical damage top lane and magic damage mid lane, it's really smart for UOL to swap the lane so that Renekton can be really favored against MR stacking Sett, and then vice versa, of course, gonna look good for Orianna. DRX doing their best to match those lanes back up to expectation, of course, as they go back and forth, but it's good of UOL to identify that and try to find something in the mid game.
All right, they're trying to force the play once again, Freak. First time they walked by the control ward, this time around, again, flash ready on Alistar, they can 100% to 0.
And that felt early. He wasn't in range or didn't get the go-ahead to headbutt Pulverize, and ultimately nothing happens. Keria says, all right, I will walk backwards, no problem here, and walks away from it. Nice jab for Pyosik. He wants in. You gotta be kidding me. Headbutt Pulverize comes in. Over the top comes the arrow. They just chain stun this poor Evelynn, and it's gonna be a headbutt there. Not gonna matter. 2 kills picked up. 2 on the board for Keria. His rookie year at the World Championship, about to dominate this game now as Boss is on the way out. He TP'd in. It is not going to matter. Ult comes across, and it's a triple kill for Pantheon support.
Ooh, first day of groups, Freak, and we just got massacre after massacre on our hands. DRX are not done. They find the extra kill here. Pyosik is on fire. Dragon will get picked up immediately after for this team, and they've blown it just wide open. Bottom gap is wide.
He read his mind. The javelin came out before the flash. He flashes into it, says thanks for the pounce target. I got you here, and now Chovy in the side lane wants this fight. Nice stun, builds some space, and now Chovy on the chase of Nomanz. Dunk comes in for the slow. Thankfully for his teammates, he's around. Nice punch comes in. They'll find not even the charm. He built enough time, but there's got to be enough for the kill. So finally, 1 comes on the board. Unicorns of Love have a scoreboard to at least look at here. The charge will come in just in time to knock down 2 turret plates. A bit of gold in the coffers, but this is going to be a massive comeback effort if UOL want to win this game.
All right, they do get some gold for themselves, though. You know, you got to count your blessings, Freak. They get the kill on the Chovy, they get the turret plates, they get the charm.
And the headbutt Pulverize with the shield down. That is way too much of an overstep by Keria. Can't immune enough damage, and that's going to mean a turret on the board. In fact, it'll be first turret to Unicorns of Love. So yes, the deficit is still large, but big signs of life with a couple of kills coming through.
Exactly what the Unicorns needed to keep their hopes alive. Yes, they are going to have to worry about dragon stacking, and it's going to be really hard to retake control of bottom half of the map, but blowing that open does give them at least a little bit of money to fund these builds. Renekton going for the Blade of the Ruin King has completed that, and Boss does have Flash. So the threat is not the Renekton on the Ornn. That's actually definitely not where they want him now. They need that Flash onto a high priority target, aka Deft. Trying to get maybe a flank off for themselves. Maybe you can find a Flash there to annihilate him, but a fully charged up with Rage W and a Blade of the Ruin King can spell death in one of those situations. It's up to Unicorns to try and get their vision control back in order so that they could try and pull off, you know, one of those flanks, one of those snares here with the Jhin.
DRX's comp is definitely very aggressive. They've got a lot of good engage tools. Pantheon over the top sets it up. Sett can do the same, Ornn can do the same. Nidalee is the only real defense that Deft's Ashe has. Now that and his summoner spells, which to be fair are both up right now. So you mentioned the Ruin King empowered W from Renekton. Maybe Boss can set something up and they can kill Deft. We have seen at least the ability to deal damage and fight from Unicorns of Love. DRX right now, as you mentioned, Dragon stacking the name of the game. Cloud Soul in this one, so they're going to get some ulti CDR and then move speed to keep stacking this one. That'll let the Ashe kite away pretty easily, or let the team just pick their fights. And realistically, to me, the best defense is a good offense. Is the team fight just being set up by Pantheon leading in and Deft following up.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem has just been, bot and jungle domination. Giant CS gap here for most members on DRX. Huge advantages, 2 levels for Pyosik. He's going to annihilate this Rift Herald, and with the outer turrets being softened up right now, they can easily kind of just go through with the domino effect. Here, Chovy can ult.
Backwards to stay safe, shotgun by some time. Chovy is going to put up the shield, but he's at half HP. All the ulti cooldowns will come back in time for the Dragon fight in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, mid-turret is under fire, and here comes the Ornn. Here comes the engage. A nice headbutt still means it comes through, and that is goodbye to Santos. And right in front of him, they're going to find Boss now as well, able to jump away though and stay alive. Still 1 for 0, and the turret dropped as well. Second charge comes through from the second Rift Herald. And mid lane tier 2 now very dangerously low. Root not gonna land, but still DRX playing aggressively, find another kill.
Yeah, aggressive dive plus tower with the Rift Herald there just blows open the lead once again. And now they can easily go for that reset. They're leaving behind transition wards from bottom side now into top side, because the last outer turret remaining here for the top side for Unicorns is going to allow them to return here and pick up the extra easy gold that's still standing.
Oh, they have found the AHaHaCiK. That is a slow. That's a lot of damage. His ulti is down. The flash engage is not quite enough. Can he take down Deft? Yes, the flash does not bring him to safety. So a 1 for 1. Pyosik is here. They find the knockup though. Big damage on the Keria, but now in comes the Nidalee. Does she have enough? A double kill for Boss. Chovy's coming around. He's ultiless. Boss waiting for his cooldowns. Gets the big stun, but it's not going to be enough. Pyosik is now dominating. The Nidalee is so far ahead, finding a bunch of kills here.
Here comes Nomanz though, so Pyosik's got to call this one off. Orianna arriving should allow Santos some extra life here. Not going to find the spears as well, so finally we'll get the reset.
All right, bot lane killed versus the top duo killed now as well. A 2 for 2, you got to say, does usually favor UOL, but the shutdowns were already claimed, so it's not going to be that big of a deal regardless. You've still got this 5,000 gold lead, the DRX at 17.5. Next Drake spawning soon.
And they know that the Evelynn doesn't have ult from the dive that they just pulled off on bottom side. That's why they go for it. There's the Blade of the Ruin King on the AD carry action that we are setting up though, Freak. That's what I talked about. It looks like if Boss is able to get his hands on that priority target, does pull off the double kill, but as you know, ends in his demise, and Keria looking for another play here. Control wards you can see defensively being put down by Unicorns to try and find.
Oh, that is an Ashe arrow. That is the attempt ult away, but not in time. Whew. Goodbye, another pick off and a great shot by Deft. We have a history of Korean AD carries landing great cross-map arrows at Worlds, and Deft just adds in the one to it.
Yeah, not necessarily cross-map either.
Yeah.
Pretty close for that one.
You can see Eternal for it. It's like past 1500 range.
Fair enough. Definitely going to give him a little leeway on that one. Finds the kill. They 100% to 0 the Evelynn, though, and this is going to be a very early soul point here for DragonX as well. If we just take a moment, because both games already in group stage have been so action-packed, so fast-paced here. Just to look back over how we got here and the well-laid plans from DRX. They saw the early Renekton pick in Champ Select here from Unicorns, signaling that Unicorns are going to want to focus on that top side of the map. And DRX are so happy to just have Doran. Okay, you get the Ornn, you just sustain up there. You don't go for any action, hold top side. Meanwhile, we pick massive crowd control for bottom half of the map, get Pyosik on the Nidalee, heavily invading towards this Evelynn, and they just put ward after ward into the Unicorn's red quadrant of the jungle. And that attention to vision, setting up this playground for DRX on the bottom half of the map, is why we're in the game state we are right now, where Unicorns are just fending for their lives, trying to get counter kills after every DRX proactive play for themselves.
And we look now for the next proactive DRX play. They grab the Cloud Drake with no competition. The next one spawns in just about 4 minutes, and that'll mean Cloud Soul, bunch of bonus movement speed, even more when you ult. UOL looking for their first proactive play here, sort of. It's looking for this move towards mid lane. Jhin ulti, I believe, yet to be used so far this game. Hasn't really had the opportunity to set up his team. Gadget would love to get something going on. Goes for the Infinity Edge, which is the best ulti-focused build. It's the most you can get for that one. The fourth shot will do half of someone's health bar if they're at, about 1/3. Kill them. Wait to see, though. Still 5,000 the gold difference, and gonna have to get Soul, and Doran just shoving down bot lane, playing defensively for a while. Nothing too aggressive.
He's just chilling. He's chilling out to the max, Freak. He's got a CS lead as Ornn. He's starting to upgrade his own items. He's about to hand out presents for everybody else as well. He's feeling everything about this game. Teleport is ready for him as well, so even if the team wants to go for big 5-on-5, he can teleport it in, cast the ultimate from a super long range to find the engage. He won't need it though.
That's another CC chain. That's the kill for Keria. There's only 2 people on this team who have kills. It's the jungler and the support. You've got a lethality, of course you do, for Pantheon. You've got Lichbane second for Nidalee. She wants to hard carry. Forget the team. I'm not going to Fiends. I'm not going to Ardent Sensor. Smite nice in time by AHaHaCiK. Grabs the blue. And Chovy is knocking down the top lane turret on tank Sett.
All right, now they're definitely having fun this time around. Support and jungle rise up. These are the 2 classically supportive roles, and yet DRX have them front and center. Baron picked up after. Let's see if they get any sort of miracle ultimate through here from Jhin. Should be blocked by DRX.
Stack up, smites a little early. Yeah, shot's not going to come through. Theoretically, they did give a small avenue. They were a little bit spaced out. Nice shockwave is going to deny Doran's ulti. Although the re-engage wasn't really going to matter, but there's a flash over, there's a dunk into the wall. Gadget's got to run. He's trying to get away, and he's barely going to make his way out of this one. He's now looking for the re-engage, looking for a bit of damage, not going to find anything more to do. It's time to run away. The Pantheon is now over the top, and Keria wants another. He's going to find it. Kill number 6 to support Pantheon.
And he deserves every single one, Freak.
Yeah.
It has been Keria and Pyosik. Attention to vision, constant invades, setting up these kills for the team. Deft as well definitely deserves credit for these Ashe arrows as soon as they catch sight of someone, being able to land those. But let's see where the next one does come from. Immediate teleport here, back out to the bottom side for Doran with the Baron buff. He's gonna be able to push in on this Renekton. 2-level lead for himself.
And I am impressed. You talked about the jungle and support doing all the work. These are the 2 players that DRX scouted. They got their competitive debuts in the LCK in 2020 on DRX, either promoted to the main roster or signed this year. You look at Doran and Chovy, like these guys, qualified for Worlds before. Chovy made it to top 8 last time around. Deft has been around forever. And it's the 2 new ones. Their first year of competitive play, their first year on the world stage, they're the ones carrying DRX.
I think this is going to give a lot of the DRX fans, a lot of peace of mind too, because these are also 2 of the players that did receive a decent amount of criticism. Keria had a really good, explosive, beginning of the summer, but did start to fall off. And Pyosik had been criticized very heavily for some of the choices in his pathing, some mechanical errors, but they have just come out here and delivered on all fronts for DRX in this game. Really nicely laid game plan and strategy by them, but executing it on it is another level for themselves. And it has definitely paid out very, very heavily with the Baron buff. Another minute left, so they've got 2 more minion waves to work with if they want to. AHaHaCiK looking for the flank.
Looking for some big damage, and Pyosik has to get back out, and here comes the re-engage possible from Ornn. He's not going to guess correctly, and AHaHaCiK needs to turn invisible, and he's going to get spotted out. This is going to be a lot of damage. There's a red buff in the way. He holds backwards, and Pyosik is legendary. Flashed over the Q. Ashe is going to land. Maybe the least important target. Boss able to take this one up and walk away. But DRX still pick up a kill. They force their opponents away, and they go for more turret siege.
All right, gonna chase him down as well. Pyosik wants more. Don't give up that bounty, sir. As he's looking around for some more spears.
Yeah.
Still holding on to his legendary title. You never want to give that one up, Freak. You just want to keep the announcer repeating so your opponents know and remember.
Legendary. Triple kill. Pentakill.
Say it again.
Legendary. Pyosik right now. Sadly, you don't get KDA stats for controlling dragons, but DRX going to be 4-0 in the dragon count unless a Miracle Steal comes across. This seems very unlikely. And Cloud Soul comes in very, very early on. And these are going to warp our world stats, Kobe. This is the fastest we've ever got Dragon Soul in a Worlds game. It's a bunch of 24-minute Dragon Souls because it's teams dominating through bot lane.
All right, let's take another look at this. Pyosik does find the possible flank here as well. Chunks down the Evelynn. And then Doran is looking for the engage on the rest of the team since they've got the health advantage. Yeah, Chovy's waiting for the flash or for the Evelynn ult onto the other side, but flash comes out for Pyosik. He's like, you know what? I'm taking care of this. Doran right into the wall. Just Doran things.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter at all. He did his duty. He was the Ornn into Renekton, has the CS lead at that. He started to hand out some upgrades too. Deft gets his cash in. No kills for himself, but you know what? You get your Ornn upgrade.
Alrighty, so there we go. Blade of the Rune King is upgraded. We're waiting for items now for most of the people. Obviously, the Zhonya's has come through, but we don't have one yet for Chovy until Sunfire comes across, and he's going to go Dead Man's Plate instead, most likely. So we're going to have a pause for a while on those until Keria gets his cleaver. Regardless, yep, 2 highest level champions are the jungler and top laner of DRX. This really is Pyosik's game. Keria, sadly, he's roamed so much, he's not out-leveling anyone but the support on the UOL side. I feel like he deserves it. He's level 14 in my heart, you know?
He's got a 2-level lead over his lane opponent. He's got a 2-level lead over Santas, so
yeah.
He'll be happy with that one. Plus the 6 kills to his name, not too shabby. Honestly, though, from the perspective of Unicorns, they had such a strong plan coming in with a lot of momentum. I hope that this loss doesn't rattle them too hard. I know they're a very resilient team. You mentioned at the beginning, how many international events they have come to over and over. They have been able to overcome a lot, and now after making it into groups, this will be a speed bump for them. But I do expect them to recover after this as we move forward in groups. This one, though, very, very big props to DRX for the early plan and the execution towards the bottom half.
Yeah, speaking of the bottom half, I am very much in love with Deft's itemization. Stock 5 for 3rd item Ma of Malmortius, saying the only way we really lose this game is assassination, and that's an AHaHaCiK and Nomanz one-shotting me. I'm going to buy the best armor item I can and just be invincible to this.
All right, he's definitely got some answers. Double summoner spells available for him as well. Obviously, for Unicorns, if we're looking at their perspective again, they've got the big bounty that they're looking to cash in on Pyosik. Now, yes, it's very difficult. He's got his Zhonya's, but he does not have flash right now, and that is a huge chunk of cash if they can actually complete that quest. So you've got a bounty out on his head. They're looking for him as he's making a lot of these aggressive plays, and they have plenty of CC to try and CC lock him and cash in there. That would be the first step in what would be a monumental comeback for the team.
Stacked up. There's a ward graveyard right there in that side of the jungle, and here comes the engage. It's Doran coming in, finds the knockup. Santas can't stop it in time, and the re-engage is going to be just so good for DRX. Dunce comes across, 1-0 so far. Pantheon over the top. It's time to run away. Unicorns of love. They want everything, and it's already a double kill for the jungler. Deft survives. The Maw certainly helps, and the chase down is on. And AHaHaCiK is running out of time. Chovy wants in a triple kill for Pyosik, and there are 2 kills left to gain. LGD player comes out. Doesn't matter. There's the Quadra, and will they get all 5? Nomanz, he's running back to the fountain, and DRX would love to get that for Pyosik's opening game of Worlds.
Good God, man, 12 kills for the jungle Nidalee in the hands of Pyosik here. He is popping off. Oh my goodness.
And that's not going to be the Penta, but it is going to be a Quadra. It's a 12-kill game, and there's more to be had. Baron is back alive. Jungle Canaan is here, and I'm not talking about Damwon. This is incredible out of DRX. They have crushed 2 inhibitors, and Baron's on the table.
Oof. Yep, Unicorns, they long awaited getting to groups. Welcome, the opening arms of DRX here. Here's another look at that team fight from Pyosik's perspective as he's able to jump in on Nidalee, goes in for the extra execute on Renekton. Conqueror fully procced here, so after Evelynn used the combo, used ult and flash, he knows there's nothing left for himself, jumps right in to finish that one off, and Deft, just lands a slow and then backs off for the next one.
Great shockwave builds some space, lets Nomanz walk away. Santa's waiting in the jungle, but with the ward coming down, not an easy pickup. Now on the other side, that is Boss going down. Chovy is the boss here. It's in his name in TFT. A double kill there for Chovy, and now another re-engage. Pantheon shows up over the top. He's going to find the stun, puts up the shield, stays alive, and Pyosik is on the chase. How many more kills will he get? Santa's slowed down, knockup available. Doran's not going to find that just yet, and Clap only comes in for a bit of damage, but this tower dive is going to happen. The headbutt, he's only going to buy some time. Pyosik, he's legendary. He's legendary. He's legendary. 13-0-5. The Nexus turrets are now in the eyes of DRX.
And they don't stand a chance. Let's see if they can get one last kill for Unicorns. Doran Pyosik's getting low, but he has flash.
Flashes for the KDA, make sure he's not rooted. The turrets are gone, and this is gonna be the Nexus falling. DRX gonna start round 2020 with a shutdown on Pyosik, but a 19 KDA still counts. Congratulations, DRX, for the win.
Oof. And look at that, just business as usual there. Number 1 win here, picked up in the group stage for DRX. And man, that was a slamming.
That was a slam. This group is going the way people expected. Upsets not to be had today, at least not in this group. It does set up, of course, the top of the table clash later on. DRX, very scary. Top Esports, very scary. And those are the teams people expected to get out of the group, and so far they have taken care of business and saying neither of you are anywhere on our calendar.
Just really like the reactions there from DRX in Champ Select and the focus for themselves. Clearing out Red's quadrant of the jungle, then going for the bottom lane focus, leaving a AHaHaCiK with very few options to go for. So this Evelynn was so far behind, and none of the laners in any position to create any gaps for themselves. It just felt like such good planning and execution there from DragonX in the first game of groups.
Yeah, impressive stuff right here. So time to recollect. This is the end of this group for the day. Of course, we have 2 other groups to play out, so 4 more games here on today's broadcast. DRX